As you walk into the church, if you look on the north side of the church or the left-hand side of the church, you see the stained glass windows. This is St. Luke and St. John with their symbols, the bull for Luke and the eagle for St. John. And these symbols appear in two other areas of the church, which I will tell you about later. The second window is the Adoration by the Magi. We see Joseph and Mary and Jesus and three wise men, Melchior, Balthazar, and Gaspar. And the roundel shows a stylized cross. This window shows the presentation in the temple. We see Simeon holding baby Jesus, Mary and Joseph has two turtle doves as an offering in his basket. Up above in the roundel, we see a pelican on a nest of three young pelicans. This is the flight into Egypt. We see Mary and baby Jesus on the donkey and St. Joseph leading the way. In the roundel up above, we see lilies, which is also a symbol of Joseph. Leo Frohi, the young boy, now a grown man, who produced these windows, signed two of the windows for us. And this one is Leo P. Frohi in Buffalo, New York, where his art glass studio was located. When the church was consecrated in 1917, these windows were not here. They were produced in Cologne, Germany, and they could not arrive in time because of World War I. It depicts the glorification of Mary. The first window shows Elizabeth of Hungary, Pius X, who was Pope at the time the windows were ordered, and St. Alphonse in green, the founder of the Redemptorist order. The next window shows Mary surrounded by two angels. As you come down, you'll see St. Martha with a pot and a duster, because she was busy with making the house look presentable when Jesus visited. In the middle, we see St. Rose of Lima, and on the right in purple, we see St. Mary Magdalene, and she was shown with a jar of perfumed oil, which she anointed Jesus' feet when he came to visit. In this last window, we see St. Dominic on the left, in the gray, and we see St. Catherine of Siena, and then on the red, St. Augustine. This second three-window set was also produced in Germany and couldn't be brought over till after World War I ended. So it wasn't here for the consecration of the church. If we begin over here on the left, we see Pope Pius IX in red was Pope when the Erie Diocese was established. Next to him, we have St. Bernard, and then below we have St. Gertrude in gray. In the center window, we see St. Joseph surrounded by three cherubs standing in front of the Vatican, because he is considered the patron saint of the Universal Church. Down below, on the left side, we see St. Bridget of Sweden. Below her, we see St. Teresa in brown. We go over to St. Thomas Aquinas. And below him, we have Pope Clement IX, who declared Rose of Lima blessed. In the window on the right, we see Pope Leo XIII. He was Pope when the present church building was erected. Next to him, we see St. Vincent Ferrer holding a trumpet and lilies. And seated, we see St. Bernadine of Siena, who was a Franciscan friar. This window shows Jesus asleep with Mary and Joseph sleeping, and when the angel appeared to him and said it was safe to return to Nazareth. And this window also has Leo Frohi's name on the lower left-hand side. This window depicts the finding of the child Jesus in the temple. When Mary and Joseph had searched for him for 3 days, they found him in the temple in Jerusalem. On the left, we see Joseph and Mary. On the right, we see Jesus surrounded by the scholars. He was explaining to them all the scriptures that pertain to him. In the top there in the roundel, we see the Holy Spirit in the form of a dove. This window was perhaps a stylized version of what Leo Frohi took some artistic license with. We see Mary on the left holding a distaff with wool. Next to her, we see Jesus. Next to him, we see St. John the Baptist. And on the right is St. Joseph. Now, we don't hear anything about that truly in any of the Gospels. We don't hear about the early life of Jesus with John the Baptist. So I think that there was a little bit of artistic license taken by Mr. Frohi. The window up above shows a ram caught in the thicket, symbolizing the ram after Abram was almost sacrificed Isaac. And he says, well, what will we sacrifice? And when he said God would provide, they saw the ram caught in the thicket. This window shows St. Matthew and St. Mark. With their symbols, Matthew had the form of a human figure, and St. Mark is shown with a lion. The first window high up in the sanctuary shows the first Christmas, the birth of Jesus. We see Joseph, Mary, and Jesus, and shepherds who came to adore him. The next window, people often say that's the Good Shepherd, but in reality, it's Jesus in the form of the man who he said lost one sheep, and he had his 99 there. He left the 99 behind and went out and found the one sheep, hoisted it on his shoulders, and said, "Rejoice, for the sheep that was lost has been found." Here we see Jesus in the Garden of Gethsemane, and the three fellows down below are Peter, James, and John, and they slept through most of the time while Jesus was praying. These three windows are part of the Apostles' Creed. Here we see Jesus, the resurrection, on that first Easter morning. The next window, he ascended into heaven, surrounded by two angels. And again, he's seated at the right hand of the Father, from whence he shall come to judge the living and the dead. We see Jesus with the book of the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. Three angels are blowing trumpets in Revelations. It tells us that they will do that at the end of time. And we see surrounding Jesus are the four gospel writers, their symbols: a human being, a lion, an eagle, and a bull. These two windows on either side of the choir loft, you never get a chance to see, because only if you're going to sing in the choir. And they're just a stylized window with a floral pattern. There's nothing that has anything to do with the life of Jesus or any of the saints. This is the Matthew and Mark window, the top of it that you can only see it from the choir loft, and the roundel contains a lyre. These are some of the last windows that Leo Frohi produced for the church. We see two angels playing a violin and another type of instrument, and the roundel shows another cross. These are the last windows in the church that Leo Frohi produced. They show two angels, the same two angels as we saw previously, but you'll notice that they're facing away from each other. That's because when they were installed or reinstalled, after they were cleaned and leaded, they were put in backwards. So now it appears that the two angels are not in harmony with each other, but playing their own music.